Let's do the... Oh, God. Ugh. Actually, in terms of rage bait, I feel like this would be worse for me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Brian Kilmeade will be coming around shortly to take your drink order.
I do not trust
Happy
Brian
Thursday,
Kilmeade
everyone.
with my drink.
So a new study links drinking alcohol to the risk of dementia. Alcohol
Yeah, no shit.
and dementia. Sounds familiar.
Wow. Good one.
Turns out a South African minister's prediction that the world would end on Tuesday didn't come true. Meaning Mika Brzezinski had sex with her husband for no reason.
Good one.
Even he's laughing.
What is the... Okay, sorry. I know this is like so as fuck to like nitpick, but what is the cadence here?
Even he's laughing. Kamala's new book revealed that she moaned to her husband during Tim Walz's disastrous VP debate, marking the first time Tim Walz has ever made a woman moan.
Okay, very sexual. Cool.
Harris also wrote that there was, quote, more riding on Tim's debate than there should have been. Her husband, Doug, agreed, saying there should have been more riding on nannies.
Okay, more sexual jokes. Awesome.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul was booed by fans when she was brought up on stage at the Ryder Cup golf tournament. But the worst moment came when golfers mistook her face for a three-wood.
Wow.
Barack Obama.
I like how the title of this video, too, is "The Right Has to Be the Adult in the Room." This is a weird. I don't know.
Admitted he had to dig himself out of a hole in his marriage. Luckily for Joe, they didn't fill it. Hillary Clinton told Morning Joe that Americans have to stop finger pointing, especially kids who point at her and say, "Mommy, is that the lady who killed Jeffrey Epstein?" I know.
Wow. So
Where
this
do
is
kids
why
get
there are
this
no
idea? Probably the internet.
on the air. Jesus.
Pregnant women have been posting videos of themselves taking Tylenol after Trump said there's a link between the pain reliever and autism. Wow, I hope Trump will link autism with doing the dishes.
Nice. Boy, this cadence is so uncomfortable.
She's so happy doing the dishes.
Oh my god, they need a fucking laugh track. This is really not. This is making me really uncomfortable.
President Trump hung an official picture of Joe Biden's auto pen at the White House. If you think that's bad, look at the new official picture of Bill Clinton.
Before my time, I guess.
Finally, a California town has posted warnings of an attacked squirrel that sent several people to the hospital. Gavin Newsom is safe since he has no nuts.
More sexual stuff. Awesome.
Thank you. All right. I'll take it.
Wow.
So following Wednesday's shooting at a Dallas ICE facility, the left once again wants to make this a both sides problem, which is like saying both the arsonist and the fireman burned the house down. There's a big difference between fire starters and fire stoppers. That's why I don't have a calendar of New York's sexiest arsonists in my office. But whenever something awful happens, like the assassination of a conservative or Brian Kilmeade writing another book, if you dare point out who did it, they yell both sides. But maybe it is both sides, the hard left and the left. The only other time it's both sides is when the shooter claims to be male and female. But why not hear the other side out? So let's put on our hazmat suits and head over to MSNBC, where they actually suggested leftist terrorists writing slogans on bullets as a tactic from the right. A former FBI official actually said this.
Brenton Tarrant. He was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds. So to see this coming from, potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange. If you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff, I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years.
Not hard to see why he has former in his title.
What that
What
was
does
a
a killer
pretty
from New Zealand have to do with lefty maniacs in the U.S.? Nothing. It's like
Knight is right, therefore lying TV guy is lying through his teeth. What? A little lost on that one. But sure. Maybe. How to parse that.
blaming the Klingons for Jesse Waters' hair. It's the biggest reach since Jay Pritzker tried to scratch his balls.
More sexual
Of course,
stuff.
it didn't end
Awesome.
there. Here's MSNBC's Rosa Flores.
We've also seen the very dramatic videos of ICE nabbing individuals and tossing them into unmarked vehicles. A lot of these ICE agents have been masked, and so it has been very divisive. And there's been a lot of fear in the different.
Yeah. No, public discourse in the U.S. is tragic. What happened was, at some point, either at or before 2016, the right and the left have no information overlap. So it literally has become whatever one side says is false to the other side by default. And there's no like agreed upon even underlying fact of any matter. And it's just corroded any sort of discourse. Like, if you look at debates that we have now, it's not even about the best way to do something or implement some policy. It's 99% just trying to come to some agreement of what the underlying truth is of any matter. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do to reconcile that, because until we have some cohesion in just the fucking universe that we live in, it's going to be dark times ahead.
Different communities where we've been reporting.
So I guess the agents had it coming. It's the old, look how the rape victim was dressed routine. She's telling them not to wear masks while they're being shot at. But this stuff is sanctioned, even by the...
But, like, I mean, I'm very strongly center-left, and I've arrived here after being on the right and just, like, knowing I was getting lied to. Yes, Trump is openly corrupt. I despise and hate Donald Trump. Like, yeah, I don't know how anyone can look at that and be like, yeah, that's actually fine. It's cool that he's made, like, north of $2 billion while in office. Like, Jimmy Carter sold his peanut farm, man. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I don't know. It's sad times, but, and then you look at Fox News, like I'm doing here, and you realize that this is like the number one. Yes, I, brother, I fully agree with you. Yeah, I'm trying not to be defeatist. Like, I think what I'm going to dedicate my mission in this stream is to, like, or not this stream singularly, but just my streaming quote-unquote career, is to try and bring together the information environments that exist in the U.S., just so we can go back to, like, Obama-McCain style discourse where you actually argue for some policy rather than fundamental truth of the universe. Yes. Man, I mean, Trump would make a great influencer. He's got the rug pulled down to a science. Not to mention all the fucking merch he sells. Did you hear they are trying to put up Tony Blair to be the authoritarian leader to Palestine under... Wait, they want to make Tony Blair the leader of Palestine? What? I have no idea. I did hear that the UK is recognizing a Palestinian state with the PA as its head, and I think that's pretty awesome. I know Netanyahu's having a fucking hissy fit at the UN right now. But yeah, a Palestinian state with the PA as its governance, I think is awesome. Yeah, because like you give the state, you give all the rights that come with the state, you give the responsibilities that come with statehood, and you take Hamas out of power. I think, like, because Netanyahu spent a large part of his career trying to discredit the Palestinian Authority because they're an actual negotiating body, and it looks really bad if you snub them. Like, better for worse, when they blow up negotiations with Hamas, a lot of the world is like, yeah, well, they're terrorists, but the PA is a lot different. So I think this would be a good move for Palestine, and it sucks that Trump's up here saying this is a huge reward for Hamas, yada yada yada. Like, the stipulation is that Hamas surrenders power. So I don't know. I think there could be good things ahead for Palestinian people. What's that? Man, UK politics goes crazy. Wait, are you talking about Netanyahu or Tony Blair? Sometimes I feel like I feel like you don't want a state of perpetual revolution, because that's what Hamas wants. That's what Israel wants, because Israel does want the entire West Bank, and they're currently like taking control of Gaza. And so I think it's the right move to make the Palestinian Authority a strong negotiating body and like an actual political state, so that like the UN can come to their defense. Netanyahu acts up. Like, I feel like Hamas has served its purpose of bringing the, I hate calling it the Palestinian issue, but like that to the forefront of the world zeitgeist for as long as it has, and now we're finally seeing something, because like people see what Israel's doing and they're like, oh, this is untenable. But I feel like, you can't have permanent revolution. That just doesn't help anybody. And the people within Gaza are like, alright, we're tired of this fighting. We please move to a resolution. According to USPCR polling, I believe. I read through those and they come out, they're really interesting. Funny, like, people in the West Bank are way more supportive of Hamas than people in Gaza. I think that's probably just because people in Gaza feel the effects of it more. But if you guys want to do that, I'm gonna go piss my pants about Fox News.
The party's leaders. Here's Gavin Newsom, a governor who runs his state like a college sophomore smoking his first joint.
Masked men jumping out of unmarked...
Oh, yeah, no, the Palestine should be governed by Palestine, by Palestinians, not the US or the UK. That's why I think bolstering the Palestinian Authority is great. Because they're seen as much more legitimate. They have, like, the political wherewithal to actually govern it. Yeah, I think The UK, France, Australia, and Canada, I think they made the right move.
Our cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic.
Oh.
What, did he say anything that's wrong about that? There are masked men just disappearing people. That is on its face true, but whatever. Fox News, right?
If you truly believe that in your soul, we must first accept that you have one. But he knows what he's doing. He's not calling Trump a big jerk. He's saying
I can't believe they complain about having no cable comedians on the right when this is the comedy. No, I feel like I don't think you can relocate the Palestinian people. That I'm trying to put it into words, but like morally that raises a ton of red flags for me. Because like I feel like Palestinians want to be in Palestine. I feel like statehood gives them power and prevents a lot of Israeli aggression. I don't know. It's not like I'm not super well versed on it. That's kind of what I've taken away from the polling I've read, from stuff I've read on it. Yeah, I don't know. But again, I'm much more domestic politics build. I don't mind hearing out different arguments on it.
he's a fascist. And what do you do with fascists? Well, Tyler Robinson showed you. But thankfully, other Democrat leaders are toning down their rhetoric.
How do you prove to somebody that you're a U.S. citizen? Your accent? The color of your skin? That's not the country we live in. You know, you shouldn't have to walk around with papers the way that they did in the early days of Nazi Germany to prove that you belong and that you're not one of them. And that is essentially the kind of country that we're becoming.
Usually when Pritzker throws the N-word around, he means
said.
nachos.
Yeah, I don't like bloodshed.
Acid fully loaded and keep him coming. Be easier to take him seriously if he had a neck.
Fat joke. That's
He looks like a pelican swallowing a pot roast. And of course, if you smell wet garbage, you know Hillary's in town.
The idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, you know, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, is just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for.
What? Isn't she charming? No wonder Bill spends most of his days perched in a tree outside the local Hooters.
Good one.
Today's left thrives on declaring their enemies evil. But us, we mock, we ridicule, we call people dumb, lazy, fat, wrong. But not demons, not Hitler. That's the left's game. Because once you decide your opponent is Hitler, then anything goes. Violence becomes justified. And then when some mentally ill kid takes their cue,
whatever, it doesn't matter.
You guys just shrug. Well, it's both sides.
I'm preaching to the choir here.
The bombs under Fox News trucks, the ICE raid protests, the vandalized memorials, the bullets etched with anti-ICE, it's all coming from one direction. And the pattern is real.
Anti-ICE bullets.
Screwed up loners get pointed at the approved enemies. So what is it about the left's reflex to say both sides following a murder? When a police officer comforts a grieving widow, does he say, you know, your husband could be really rude at times? What's the impulse behind bringing it up at all? It's a rationalization to protect you from realizing you might be wrong. It arises from that pit in your stomach where the guilt resides. Saying both sides shields your ego. And you got to wonder, why do surveys show that Charlie's murder was justified to so many young Democrats? Because he's conservative, Christian? If that's the case, then anybody with that label is marked for death. But remember, Charlie was only on the planet for 31 years and in the public eye for just a few. The people in the survey probably never heard of him until his death. That, my friend, is brainwash.
I don't know
so don't
why
give me
I
both
watch
sides.
this. It's
There's
like
one
coffee,
side that
but
screams
for
Nazi
energy,
and shrugs when violence
rage, I
follows.
guess.
And there's the other side who's ducking and hoping they miss. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's got more takes than Home Depot has rakes. Republican strategist Aaron McGuire.
Okay. Why do people on Fox
The
look
only
like
thing
that?
lower than his voice is his girlfriend's standards. Comedian Jim Florentine. She constantly fidgets and weighs double digits. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Duve.
Nice.
And his
So far, the commentary has been weight and sex. Like, that's been the two prevailing themes in this Fox News comedy special.
Taylor needs a scaffold to measure his inseam. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA World Champion.
Joe Passing.
Aaron, how are you today?
I'm well, Greg. How are you?
I don't care.
Okay.
All right. Do you notice? I mean, I don't think it's about the violence, because if you get into the violence, it's this both sides thing. It's about the language and the ideas used to advance the party's aims.
He spent his
just think
entire
that
segment
if you
saying that
start
that was a
calling people
lie.
Hitler and Nazi, this
my
is what you're going to get.
It's
I
like,
think that's
how much cognitive dissonance can a human being bear? Like, don't get it. Like, this is why I left the right, because I was like, wait a minute, this just hurts my head to believe all this bullshit. Like,
very correct. They make it other. They make it so that you don't seem human anymore, so violence is the easier outcome. And you are seeing that much more on the left. Polling shows right now that Democrats, more than a plurality, believe that violence is okay in politics. That is not the same number.
I mean, okay, I was kind of just waiting for people to filter, and I can't do this Fox News thing anymore.